Right everyone, it is Finn here. Welcome to a brand new video where today we're going to be grading the brand new Premier League home kits for the 22-23 season. Now of course, as you can see on screen right now, I have a tier list set up. I know once again,
Finn, absolutely original idea, having a tier list set up.
but of course once again it's the easiest way to do it, and as you can see within this tier list, we've got different categories from Oh No, which is of course for those brand new Premier League home kits that, let's be honest, it's just not a good design. Absolutely no one should buy those kits. We've got Meh, which is for those kits that it's like they're okay but could have been a lot better. We've got Decent, obviously for the decent kits. We've got Great, obviously for kits that we do think are great, and of course at the top of the pile are for Take My Money kits, which of course those are the kits that as soon as they get put on the shelf they will be sold out because they are top tier. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, I do want you guys to put down in the comment section down below what is your new favorite kit for the upcoming Premier League season and what is your least favorite. And of course, along with that, make sure to hit the like button down below. If we do get this video to, let's say, 30 likes, I obviously will be doing this with Premier League away kits as well. But of course, jumping into the tier list, we've got 19 kits to talk about. Obviously, Fulham is the only team not to upload their new home kit. I don't know what's up with that, Fulham. You have to pick up your game. You're not necessarily playing as a top dog this season. But of course, looking at the other kits, we've got some brilliant jerseys. Of course, beginning of the season, it's always an exciting time as a football fan because obviously signings are coming in. You might be given a brilliant new kit. I mean, there are some kits that are just awful season after season. Chelsea, I'm not pointing at you. But of course, this time around, are things going to be different? Are we going to have a lot more better looking kits? That's exactly what we're going to find out. So of course, jumping into the tier list, kit number one that we're going to be talking about, it is going to be the jersey that I'm wearing, or from the same club as the jersey I'm wearing, as it is Tottenham Hotspurs. Now, you know what? At first thought, I'm going to put it in the great category. I know Tottenham Hotspurs, it's been a while since we've been close to this part of the table, the tip top of the table. Obviously, jokes aside, obviously we'll be playing Champions League football this season. And you know what? I really do like this kit. Obviously, once again, plain and simple. They're keeping that plain white design. I really do like the sleeves this time around though, with the kind of dark sleeves with a bit of yellow there as well. Once again, it's a really nice bit of detail and it's something quite different from Tottenham Hotspurs. Something that we haven't quite seen before. Although it looks very, very simple, I think once again, sometimes simple is better. And once again, Tottenham Hotspurs, you've got yourselves a very, very good looking kit. Now, next up, we're going to be jumping into, now who should we look at next? You know what? I'm going to be looking at a club that, will they be at the top of the table next season? We'll have to find out, as it is Newcastle United. Now, of course, at first glance, once again, going to put it in the decent category, because as we know, Newcastle United, a lot of money coming in. Obviously, they're going to be buying a lot more players this transfer window, but the big talk is, should they have spent a bit more money on their brand new jersey? But you know what, saying this, although Newcastle United, you know what you're going to get. It's going to be black and white stripes. It's standard at this point. But you know what, even though it's just black and white stripes, I really like what their jersey looks like this season. I like the fine design in terms of the sleeves and the collar, in terms of the thin black line. Once again, looks better than the kit that they had last season in my opinion. Once again, not necessarily one of the best kits in the world, but is a decent looking kit. Now, of course, next up, who should we look at? Let's look at Chelsea. Obviously, Chelsea, a kit, they still got the number 3 on their chest. Maybe it's to represent the position they came in last season.
Hello? That's not funny!
But of course, looking at Chelsea, once again, as I've stated on multiple occasions, I have not been a fan of their recent kits. And initially, I wasn't a fan of this kit at all. I thought the collar looked a bit sloppy. But now during preseason, watching these players wear some of these kits, it's not as bad as I initially thought. I actually think it's a pretty good looking kit. I mean, seeing it on someone like Raheem Sterling, once again, still slightly weird. But although, I mean, saying that, some players definitely do look good in it. And the kit, once again, not as bad as I initially thought, and is a decent kit. Jumping into the next kit, let's look at something like Nottingham Forest. Once again, talking about weird, a kit that has been worn by Jesse Lingard this upcoming season. Once again, you'd like to say that he's not there for the money, but he was offered a position at West Ham United, but rejected that for a team that hadn't been in the Premier League for like 22, 23 years for a higher wage. Tiny bit suspect, but obviously just looking at the kit, once again, they don't have a big chest sponsor yet. They don't have that big sponsor yet. But the kit, once again, very, very nice. Nice, simple. It's got a bit of design on the sleeves, which looks quite nice. It is a plain red. Once again, not anything absolutely spectacular. And because of that, I might just put it in the Mac category. Now, of course, keep in mind, it doesn't mean that it's a bad kit. It just means that it didn't absolutely wow me. Nottingham Forest, it is a good kit. Yeah, but I can't say too much past that, to be honest. Jumping into our next kit, we've got Bournemouth. Now, Bournemouth, I'm sorry, this is our first Oh No kit. Let's be honest, it's slightly lazier. I'm surprised you don't have Eddie Howe as your manager still, because I want to ask how this kit came about.
Got him!
I mean, the design is absolutely awful. I mean, initially I quite liked it. I liked the black zigzags, but the fact that it's been copied over, it's just lighter behind and it's been swapped around. I just don't like that design. I think it looks very simple, very amateur, and I do feel like their return to the Premier League, they should return with a bang, but this one's, it's a tiny bit of a water pistol. It's not going to do much in a war. Unfortunately, Bournemouth, you have returned to the Premier League, but it is not an impressive kit, and you are at the bottom of the table. Now, of course, moving on, we've got Leicester City. Now, of course, looking at Leicester City, they absolutely wowed me last season with their kits. I mean, the design of that was absolutely beautiful, and it was probably in my top 2, top 3 favorite kits in the entire world last season. It was a brilliant kit, but you have taken a step back this season, and it's a very, very simple design. But of course, saying that, simple can sometimes be better. I don't hate this kit. The collar, once again, slightly getting used to that.
That's what she said.
That it is a tiny bit of a weird adjustment for Leicester City. Obviously, they would hope to do better than they played last season. But saying that, at the end of the day, Leicester, this is not a bad kit. I like the simplicity in the design. But once again, just compared to last season, it's going to be very, very hard to improve off of that. Once again, I wouldn't say it's one of the best kits out there, but it is a very decent kit. And because of that, I'm going to put them in decent. Now, of course, moving on, we've got West Ham United, which, ladies and gentlemen, let me just say, this is our first take my money kit. I mean, obviously last season, I really liked the kit that they had. They put a different shade of blue on the shoulders. It looked very, very strong. But of course, this kind of like paint design for West Ham United, it is so nice. It is so clean. It's something different. And I really, really like it. Once again, maybe West Ham fans going to be upset that Jesse Lingard won't be wearing it this season. But of course, looking at the kit as a whole, once again, very, very strong, very, very good. Once again, something different from the club, and the design ended up working out quite well. I really, really like it. As I said, I think when a different kind of kit comes out, a kit that we've never seen before, it could go either way in terms of absolutely awful or really, really good. And this one, it's a good one, West Ham United. I like it. Now, of course, moving on, we've got a tiny bit of a weird one, as it is Brentford City. And Brentford, I'm going to have to put you in mayor. Obviously, it is the exact same kit that they wore last season, as Brentford won't be changing their kits. Obviously, they only got promoted to the Premier League for the first ever time last season. So, you know what? They've only ever worn the same kits in the Premier League. Once again, it's not that it's an awful kit. It's just the fact that, once again, I haven't really been wowed. It is the same kit from last season. It's not a bad looking kit whatsoever. Trust me, it's really, really decent at the end of the day. But once again, compared to some of the kits that we will be seeing in this list, once again, I wouldn't classify it as top tier. Now, next up, we've got Liverpool FC. Now, of course, Liverpool would want to be fighting for a take my money spot for a Champions League or even a Premier League winning spot this coming season. Obviously, I think they would hope to be winning it. But in terms of kits, once again, doesn't quite win it. It is a massive improvement off of last season, where they kind of had the stripes going down, the diagonal orange stripes going down their jersey, which, once again, have no idea what Liverpool were thinking last season, trying to dress like a smoked salmon. But at the end of the day, I do like the simplicity in their brand new kit. Just white, just red, works very, very well. Very, very simple. Once again, not going too over the top. And I know it sounds weird compared to some of the other kits, but I really do like the simplicity, a lot like Tottenham Hotspurs. And because of that, am I going to put it in great? You know what? I don't think I am. I think I'm going to put it at the end of the decent category, in the high ends of the decent category. Now, moving on, we've got, who do we have? You know what? Let's pop up the likes of Southampton, who, once again, I'm going to put them in meh. I do kind of like their brand new design. I do like the fact that it's kind of a vertical stripe this time around. Obviously, last season they had what's closer to this kind of Brentford kit in terms of their design. This year they've got a solid red down the middle, black on the sides, and they've got a tiny bit of detailing within the white, which once again looks really, really nice. But just compared to some of their last kits that they've had, it's not one of my favorites. It's not a bad kit. As I said, it's just compared to some of the previous seasons where I feel like they've had absolutely brilliant jerseys on offer. But as I said, just in comparison, I do think that this is a tiny bit of a meh kit, and it doesn't necessarily give me sort of any kind of emotion.
Okay.
Now, moving on, we've got Arsenal, which Arsenal, I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is a great kit. Look, obviously they've been wearing it in preseason. Gabriel Jesus looks brilliant in this kit, first of all, but I do have to say at the end of the day, it is a nice kit. I wasn't a fan of the collar at first. Maybe it's because I'm a Manchester United fan. Excuse the jersey, but yeah, I do kind of like the collar design now. I do think Arsenal look very, very good in it. I do think it is a sexy kit at the end of the day. There's something quite retro about it. It is one of the better kits Arsenal have had in a very, very long time, in my opinion. Maybe in the last 10 years even. Once again, big claim, but I do think that this is a very, very sexy kit and deserves to be close to the top of the table. Now, next up, we've got a kit from Brighton. Now, Brighton, I don't know what to say about this, whether I really like it or whether I don't. But I think that this is a decent kit. Obviously, once again, something very different from them. They've got the big vertical blue stripe down the middle with the cap for the sponsor. But within there, they've kind of got like a little yellow stripe going down the middle and yellow around the collar. I kind of like this kit, to be honest with you. Once again, it's slightly different from Brighton. I kind of really like the design. They took a risk, and I do think it ended up working. Once again, maybe I'd put it on the higher ends of decent. It probably is better than the Chelsea kit, in my opinion. In fact, Chelsea, I do think you're probably at the ends of the decent kit category. But Brighton, as I said, I do think it is a really good looking kit, and it's ended up working out well. Good job. Now, of course, moving on to kind of our final set of kits, we then move on to Manchester City. Now, of course, this is a kit, it's taken quite a lot of criticism, obviously having a tiny bit of red in there. People are talking about the fact that surely you can't have your rival's colour within your kit. But you know what, once again, at the end of the day, there's something very strong about this kit. Once again, I don't know if it's because it's been showcased so much on Erling Haaland, but it is a very strong looking kit. It's kind of a bold statement out there. I really like the dark around both the sleeves and the collar. Once again, although nothing spectacular, of course, I wouldn't say that it's better than their kit last season. I really like the white on the side for Manchester City last season, but at the end of the day, it is still a decent kit. I personally am a fan of the rings around the neck and of course the sleeves. I do think that the red and white work out quite well. Yeah, decent kit. Now, of course, moving on to what I believe is our final 6 kits. Next up, we have Leeds United. Now, Leeds, I can't believe I'm saying this. I know it's a simple design, but I'm kind of thinking of great, but once again, maybe the higher ends of decent, because this is a very, very sexy looking kit. It's kind of a black / very, very dark blue with white, and it almost gives off Real Madrid vibes. Maybe I'm the only one who's thinking that. They definitely don't play like Real Madrid, but it is a very, very sexy looking kit in my opinion. Once again, something so simple about it. I absolutely hated that yellow color that they used last season. I know there's a bit of yellow in this one, but I do think it looks better this season. Once again, as I said, I just wasn't a fan of using white and yellow. Those are colors that just don't work together. Obviously, the yellow kind of gets lost, but I do like it this time around. And Leeds United, I think it is a very, very sexy looking kit. But maybe once again, maybe it'll make you play like Real Madrid. Maybe Dan James will be the next Vinicius Jr. Okay, maybe not, but you know what? You can at least hope. Now, of course, heading into the next kit, we're going to be looking at Everton. Now, I'm not going to lie, this is going to be very low ends of meh. I mean, when I first saw this, I thought that this was a very old kit from Everton. I didn't realize this was the brand new one. And to be honest, I don't like it. It's a bit too simple. I know I've spoken about some of these other kits looking beautiful because they are simple, which I feel like is how some people described me in school, minus the beautiful part. But of course, looking at this Everton kit, once again, as I said, I'm just not a fan of it. It's a bit too plain. I kind of really liked their kit last season. I like that bit of yellow in there. Of course, their training kit is absolutely beautiful this season, but their kit itself, once again, it's a bit too old-fashioned. Maybe in terms of trying to hide a bit after last season, they don't want to pop out too much. Frank Lampard, once again, whether you're going to be representing this badge for a lot longer, we have no idea. But as I said, at the end of the day, this jersey just isn't a thing, and I mean, I'm very, very close to putting it in the oh no category, but I do think I'll save them a tiny bit and put them in meh. Now, of course, moving on, we've got the villains, Aston Villa. Now, of course, for a team called Villa, at least they're not vanilla in terms of their kits, although, once again, an Aston Villa kit always looks like an Aston Villa kit. Once again, this is a very, very nice design. Once again, I don't know if it gives me special feelings or not. Of course, it's kind of got the V going down their chest. I don't know whether that stands for Aston Villa or not, but once again, I do kind of like it, you know. though. I do think it is a decent kit. Maybe I would put it in the high ends of meh, if not the lower ends of decent. Yeah, as I said, once again, it's an Aston Villa kit, and it looks like an Aston Villa kit, and it's not a bad design. Now, of course, talking about bad designs, next up, we've got Wolverhampton Wanderers, which, once again, it's one of those kits where I don't know if I absolutely love it or I hate it. I mean, looking at this stock image, it doesn't look great. But of course, looking at it on players, it does look like quite a decent kit. Once again, it's nothing absolutely spectacular. All Wolves kits over the last few years have kind of looked the same. And I do feel like Wolves need to try something different. They need to do something very, very different with their kits, because at this stage, all of them look exactly the same. I'm aware that they've got obviously a new sponsor across their chest, obviously a tiny bit of red in there. That looks very, very nice. But once again, as I said, at the end of the day, it's nothing spectacular. Now, of course, heading into our second last kit, we've got Crystal Palace, which I can't believe I'm saying it, but take my money. What an absolutely beautiful kit. It really shows the difference between making a simple concept work versus not. I mean, I spoke about the fact that having layers over each other looks cheap for Bournemouth, but for Crystal Palace, it just works. I know it just looks like scribble that you kind of did on Adobe Illustrator on the jersey, but at the end of the day, it looks very, very nice. It's a red that pops, it's a blue that pops. I mean, obviously it's quite layered. I think the white around the sleeves looks absolutely beautiful. Crystal Palace, you really created something quite special, and it's quite interesting looking at both West Ham and Crystal Palace at the top here, having very artistic looking kits. As I said, at the end of the day, I really, really like it. Crystal Palace, good job. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, that takes us onto our final kit. Of course, the team that I represent, the team that I support, except for today with the Spurs jersey, with Manchester United. And once again, I feel like if I put the Arsenal one there, I have to put the Manchester United one there. Obviously, once again, I really do like the collar design. I didn't initially, but it's really grown on me. I really like the stripes on the sleeves. I like the badge, kind of the retro badge on the Manchester United jersey. At the end of the day, as I said, it's a really, really nice kit. And I mean, it's looked fire so far in pre-season. I mean, it's been looking so good. Even Anthony Martial has been performing in it. Once again, Manchester United, you've produced some absolutely atrocious kits over the last few years, but this is definitely a top tier one. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for ranking every brand new home kit for the 22-23 Premier League season. As I said, Fulham's slightly behind, don't know where their home kit is. I can almost bet you that the day I upload this video is the day that they release their brand new home kit. But you know what, I think I've done a decent job in terms of rating. Obviously, I want you guys to put them down in the comment section down below. Do you disagree with where I've put any of these kits? And of course, tell me what your favorites and least favorite kit is for the upcoming season. Obviously, once again, as I said, my least favorite is probably the Bournemouth one, and my favorites, to be honest, it's probably the Crystal Palace one. Once again, whether you guys will agree with me, I have no idea. But of course, ladies and gentlemen, I hope that you did enjoy this video. Make sure to get this video to, what did I say, 30 to 40 likes if you want me to do the away kits, and of course, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Finn, FYNN. Until next time, cheers.